Today we have Barney Rosenberg, who is the ethics officer for Megit PLC, joining us, and he is demonstrating how to use the business ethics board game. Could you tell us more about that, Barney, in terms of how to use this business ethics board game that you created to teach business ethics?
The ethics board game is a way that I have found to get people who are really busy to stop for a minute and think about some of the things that happen in their work life. So, for instance, the cards that they draw to stimulate scenarios and to get a conversation going are based on things that happen in companies all the time. And it makes executives and others just sort of pause for a minute, think about what's in that scenario, relate it to their own work experience, and then struggle through the kinds of resolutions that are possible, knowing that there's no right or wrong answer necessarily, but that there are decision points that have to be made. So it's really a way of teasing out what are those decision points and how do they resolve real life issues.
Barney, exactly how does the board game work, like in the classroom?
Yeah, I've created in relatively simple sentence or two situations a fact pattern. And the fact pattern will describe something that happens in a particular country or in a particular work setting, and it'll ask people what they would do under those circumstances. What I've done is I've obviously created a situation where everybody in the audience is part of the board of directors of a fictional company. And the fictional company is brought to life through their interactions with me and with each other. So they take on tough challenges around the world, bribery situations, quality assurance situations, human resources challenges, and they're asked to sort through and work through what's happening in the life of that fictional company. An example where others have used the technique, I got a wonderful email from my CFO in our Canadian operation, and he's a finance guy, and he was able to create a set of fact patterns like the board game, but tailored to their situation, Canadian law, Canadian experience, and Canadian culture.
What do students gain from participating in the board game experience?
I'd like them to come away from the experience saying, there's another way to learn, and it's really important to be part of that process. I could actually, for the first time, see myself in a business setting rather than having somebody just lecture to me.
Bernie, if professors wanted to create their own board game using cards and scenarios, how would they go about doing that?
Well, from what I've seen at based on my limited experience with the faculty at the Anderson School, they are far more creative than I am. And the content of the courses that they teach is important. It's timely, and it really gets to the core of how business operates. And if they think that way and put themselves in the situation of a developing executive, somebody who is starting out in the business world, they'll do just fine creating challenging situations for people to struggle through and to come to their own conclusions about.
We want to thank you, Barney, for joining us today, and we appreciate the insights from the great work you've done in creating this business ethics board game.